Sexual harassment. We all know at least one person who has unfortunately experienced it. Maybe it was your mother, your sister, your aunt, your niece, your friend, or maybe even your daughter. Sexual harassment isn't something that just happens to women. Men are also susceptible to this epidemic as well, although there aren't nearly as many cases of it reported as it is with women. Christina recounts her first time ever being sexually harassed when she was just a 15-year-old girl and working at her dad's restaurant, and why she decided not to report it.
It was kind of a tricky situation. It was my dad's restaurant. I did tell my sister, and basically we just kind of froze him out. We didn't talk to him anymore, but I didn't report it to anyone. Being 15, I didn't really know that you could tell people. I just kind of thought that it was just a thing that happened. There was a 19-year-old chef, and he very often, complimenting me and flirting with me and asking me out. And then one day we were in the parking lot, and he kind of trapped me against the wall and tried to kiss me. I kind of pushed him away and got away, but being 15 and feeling in this very vulnerable situation alone outside in a parking lot in the dark, it was really, really scary.
After working for her dad's business for about 2 years, Christina decided that it wasn't where she wanted to be. So at 17 years old, she would get a job at a local bowling alley. After being sexually harassed at this job as well, she learned about some of the unfortunate repercussions that are usually met when reporting incidents.
I used to work at Berkeley Bowl. There was this family that worked there, 2 sisters, a brother, and then the supervisor was the brother's girlfriend. And he would always want to hug me and kind of ask me out. And I was 17, so I was still underage. He was maybe close to 30. And that I did report to my boss, who fired him. His sisters were my friends, so that was a really difficult thing to do. I didn't necessarily want to see him fired, but he did not take no for an answer. It made things really difficult at work. My supervisor was not nice to me after that.
As a business owner, you are dreading claims of harassment of any kind. But when claims are brought forward, one cannot immediately assume the accused is guilty. But if it is proved beyond reasonable doubt, they shall face the consequences.
It depends on the situation, for sure. In this particular situation, it was a he said, she said kind of thing. She made a report. He denied it. I can't take her word for it over his just because she's a woman. That's unfair to him. There was no other witnesses, proof, anything like that. So the best you can do is kind of investigate the situation and do what you can to prevent it from happening. If it does, let them go. We have fired somebody for continually asking out every different woman, and then also commenting on one of our employees' butt and how nice her butt was. And his wife works there as well, but doesn't speak any English, and so it made everybody feel extra uncomfortable that he would do this stuff in front of his wife, who just didn't understand what he was saying. That same person that we fired, whose wife still works there, did hit on me. Basically, I just shut it down before it even got to that point and reported it to my business partner.
Christina gives her insight on how the restaurant industry functions and how it is a breeding ground for sexual harassment because it is perpetuated by lewd comments and inappropriate behavior that is considered to be jokes amongst coworkers.
Restaurant industry, sexual jokes are so common, it's almost expected. Owning a restaurant, I've had to let them know we're in a very sensitive environment. We're in an all-inclusive environment. We don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable ever. We want people to come to work happy all the time and feel safe and comfortable. So if I hear any inappropriate joking, I know it's a joke. I've spent my whole life in this industry, but not everybody has. And we have a lot of young people coming in, and we're a much more aware society than we were in the 90s, where this was just how it was. We just knew if you worked in a kitchen, if you worked in a restaurant, then there was going to be sexual harassment, but it's not okay anymore.
Given the recent movement of Me Too, she spoke on a personal struggle that she had to endure and how she's happy with the direction that we as a society are heading in because she no longer feels alone and isolated.
Because I had my first sexual assaults happen to me when I was like 8. No, it's not really talked about. It's one of those things that once people start talking about it, you're like, oh, me too. Well, now like everybody's talking about it. It's hard to feel alone.
My name is Brandon, and thanks for listening.